got you see that's on that we can start with?
Yeah. Oh, look at Caitlin propped up in front of our little logo behind her. So good. Kate Barnes is on with us. And I feel like I saw Kim pop on, but she was having internet trouble. So we'll see if she's kind of sticking around. I just pinged a couple people because I was like, this will really flop if we don't have anybody that's newer that pops on this morning. So certainly not like guiding the conversation, but just someone that we can kind of go to and ask some questions and get some perspective on. Because I think we all think teaching is one of the best ways to learn. So this is one of those things where even if you are not, a new agent, we reiterate and we learn at the same time, which is one of the reasons why we love these settings so that we can actually bring information back to the surface. So thanks guys if you are one of those that I texted and said, can you please just be sure you're on tomorrow? And I did that because you guys are doing the activities and showing up and have things going. Kate's not brand new, but she's still within that like less than 2 year mark and has really found the other side of what we call that pit that Tina talks about for new agents when the reality starts to set in of how hard this industry can be. So those are a couple of the folks we are chatting with this morning. I'd love to, just open it and see if anybody has some questions. I've got some stuff kind of preloaded, but would love to hear if anybody kind of has some questions or struggles or just commentary on kind of that first like year, 2 years in the business where you're trying to figure out what does this look like. Maybe somebody that's on the other side of it now that can say, oh my gosh, yes, I know exactly what that felt like. Or here was a struggle I had. Just kind of open it up. And if we don't get anything there, I've got a couple prompts we can tap into. Hmm.
Okay, so I think the biggest thing about this is that it's about sharing our struggles. We talked, Anna just made the comment that we learn best from teaching, right? And I really believe that. It's one of the things that helped me grow in my business was getting very uncomfortable, getting in front of people. And my biggest fear was sounding stupid, right? Or not. It's kind of that ego and that imposter syndrome. And so really we've got a lot of people on here. And I know I'm going to call out some of my agents on my team that you are now past that 2.5 year mark. And one of the questions she asked was, what are you feeling now, or what have you seen? And I won't name names, but we had some conversations in our team meeting yesterday about capacity, right? About a year ago, this would have crushed you. So I think I'm looking at one person in particular, but like you are now doing a listing appointment and calling buyers, and you're now going on almost $1 million listing appointment and running comps, but knowing that right after that, you're going to do XYZ. Whereas originally that would have been the one thing and the only thing you could have done that day, right? And so who feels like maybe their capacity is increased, and what helped you get to that point?
I'll go.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah, Kels.
Kells
You
Bell
know,
Cells.
yeah, so I definitely felt like, I've been doing this, what, almost a year and a half, and I definitely have felt one call, I was like, oh my gosh, I have one thing going on, and it stressed me out. And now I definitely feel like I see things, I can text people, I see, like, oh, this looks like a property that you might be interested in. And then also going on appointments. And yeah, I do have my first, I've had another listing appointment, but I've been mostly working with buyers. And so I have been a little timid with when it comes to sellers, just because I haven't had the practice and the confidence is definitely getting better. But I definitely think that I'm feeling a lot more like I have the capacity to do a lot of things. And I think a lot of it just comes from confidence and making those calls and just doing it. Like it really, I know I'm sure I still probably sound silly sometimes, but just practicing with people. And I know that our team has really helped me grow a lot just because we talk a lot about things and practice certain things. And I don't know, I definitely feel like over time, everyone is just, the more you do things, right, it's just the better you feel about it. And it really is all about repetition.
The more you do, the more you do, right? And
Yeah,
I
and
think
definitely
that
feel more comfortable.
prep and confidence comes from preparation. I really believe that. And I think a lot of people are waiting for this magical thing that says I'm confident now. And it doesn't really work that way. It comes from putting yourself in the uncomfortable situation. And the faster you can thrust yourself into that, the faster the reps come. And then the faster you build that capacity. And so, what Agents Empowered is here for is to sometimes we need to listen to other people's failures or other people's, like, what are they doing right? And so, the more that we are putting ourselves in uncomfortable situations and we're sharing our failures, our successes, all of the things, you guys don't know it. The more you speak up, the more you're helping somebody else get on that escalator, right, and get to the top a lot faster. So I really appreciate you sharing that, and we have seen a lot of growth in your capacity, and I'm really proud of you. Who else do we have? Is there something that you can say that you're kind of in your first 2 years and you've experienced that's helping you grow?
Caitlin, how's that internet service?
Me, Caitlin, or the other Caitlin?
Either one of you.
Oh, it's good.
Caitlin, go ahead.
I just have only been here for like a few months, so I don't have 2 years. I think I started at the end of March. I think the thing that's helped me is I've had two people who really have just invited me to every single thing they've gone through to. And so when I have my own things pop up, like I don't feel like a deer in headlights anymore. Because I feel like that is the hardest part is like at my first showing, I did not know what I was talking about. Like things that they don't teach you in class. Like I think he asked me where the leach fields were. And I was like, ew, you guys have leeches? Like that's, I don't know what is happening here. And so
amazing.
It feels so much better. Like now when I go to an appointment, like I know a little bit more about what I'm talking about, just watching other people do it too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the beauty of this new team structure. When I first got into real estate, there weren't teams in our market. It was a foreign concept. And I see so much collaboration and growth and being able to know that you just have somebody you can text. And it doesn't mean you have to be on a team. Just you need to know that you have people in your corner to say, like, these guys think there's leeches in the yard. And somebody's like, yeah, but that's not what
that's not real.
That's not it. You know what I mean?
I think that's a great lesson too for agents that are experienced that want to know how can you serve new agents. So I had a inspection, I guess it was yesterday, and I just put in the onboarding channel and I was like, hey, like, and I walked in with my client. I was like, it's like Grey's Anatomy around here. I was like, you know, like when the doctor rounds and they've got like 4 interns with them, like that's what we're doing today because this is a valuable experience. And it is like we take for granted how much information can be taken in from a reports finding for an inspection for a new agent that doesn't know, you know, what that inspection report looks like or what the conversations are around that or how you leave that specific appointment in control of your client's emotions. And so I think it's one of the harder things to do is to get agent schedules to line up to get that availability for people to go and shadow, which is why I do think mentorship and you know, I think, you know, alignment in the real estate space is important because there's a higher level of responsibility for those of us that are in the field to do that. But anyone listening to this is like, how do I help mentor agents? I think Caitlin said it very well. Like you have to get them into situations where they can see what's actually transpiring, which is why we're not huge on lengthy hypothetical onboarding because Allison and I see things every single day that we have never seen before. And so if we were waiting for someone to onboard us on how to handle that, we would have been out of business years ago as well.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good point. I think it's all about showing up and kind of forcing your way into this space because there's a lot of agents that are still getting into this market. The market, I feel like we go through these cycles and it's swinging again, and we're in this bubble, right, where we're going to see a lot of movement. A lot of our listings, Anna just said it. We had a few stale listings that they just had go under contract. Even though we might be forcing our family members to buy them, but they're going under contract, right? And it is about moving as fast as you can through those reps and not being so worried about failing because you know you always have somebody in your corner. And I think that's so important. And it's really what we're building here. But again, I'm going to encourage everybody listening that we learn more from teaching. We learn from helping others and teaching others and being able to, you know, I think sometimes we look back, and again, this is a little bit of our imposter syndrome, but I still have moments where I'm like, who am I to tell anybody anything about real estate? Like, what do I know? Mm-hmm. And I remember climbing this ladder and getting a year in and being like, I don't know anything. I shouldn't tell anybody anything. And another year goes by. And so, guys, if you've done your first transaction, turn around and help the next person up that's done 0. If you've done 5, turn around and help the next person up that's on their first. Like, we all have something to gain from each other. And so this is really me encouraging people that are cameras off, that aren't talking, that are muted. Like, what have you learned? What do you need to learn? What questions do you have? Because we go so much farther together. We really do. And that's what this is for. So I'm pushing on you guys today for this encouragement to don't worry about maybe looking silly or stupid or having a stupid question. You've got to ask it, right? This is how we collaborate and we connect with one another. So that's my plea for somebody new to speak up. What have you learned? What advice do you have? Or maybe what was your moment that you said, oh my God, I feel so stupid, but I learned a lot of lessons from it.
And guys, I think Tina said it so well. She did a masterclass on Monday, and we got to see that same one in Charleston. You don't have to be leaps and bounds ahead of someone to lead and to help. You need to be 10 to 15% ahead. That's it. That's all it takes. That's the benchmark to turn around and to be able to actually impact a space. So some of you on this call I know are 10, 15% further along in a specific area of real estate and have something huge to offer. And I will say, like, that teaching space is where you really start to immerse and it becomes kind of who you are. And that's where that switch changes. I think it's where work-life balance also actually becomes a reality.
I agree with that too. Like, coming from a teaching background, teaching definitely throws you into something, and helping others definitely teaches yourself more as well. And I feel like with real estate, every day is something different. Every day you're learning something new every day for everybody. And so even helping somebody else could kind of help you learn something more as well. Like, it really truly, it's like a domino effect.
So I saw somebody put in the chat repetition, and then also um, somebody was talking about, just reps, doing the reps. I think early on for me, I was like, okay, but what reps? Like it was the disconnection on, like, I understand there were things that I needed to do and that I needed to repeat, and there was a process I needed to go through. And truth be told, the first team that I was on, I was learning the wrong process. And so, like, that hurt and put me a year behind, quote, behind whatever you want to call that.
I think you're doing
and so,
fine now. You caught up. Good job.
yeah, it's all good. But yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine. But so I think that's where it's like, talk to these people like this in this room, and figure out what their process has been, and continue to repeat and trust that process. I was talking to one of our new agents, and I can't remember who it was right now. It was like 2 weeks ago. Talking about how, like, real estate is about the long game. It's not, Anna's famous line is, what you do today, you'll see in 90 days. And I think that's never more true, right, than it is today. It's not about what you do today affects you having a contract tomorrow. It's what you do today, and what you do tomorrow, and what you do the next day, and what you do the next day, and what you do the day after that, that's going to actually build you a business that you can, I'm losing the words because I haven't had coffee
okay,
yet.
a sustainable business, right?
Thank you. There we go.
We're talking about back to the basics. And so Catherine just said in the chat, sounds like Allison. Well, it's, guys, I'm here to tell you, it's because anybody that's figured this business out can tell you it's all the same. Our message is the same over and over. And Anna's 90 days sounds like Allison because we've figured it out. It's a very simple business. It's not easy, but it's simple. And I made a post that says, I was watching the sunrise, and it was this spectacular sunrise. And I started to realize, guys, the the cadence of the sun rising is the exact same cadence as that sun moves through the sky, right? And we don't notice it until it goes down again when there's refraction and reflection and all of these things are happening. And it's this beautiful spectacle. But throughout the day, that sun is just moving through this sea of blue and we don't notice it. And that is literally a perfect analogy for your business. You cannot look at just the shiny things. You cannot only focus on the sunrise or the sunset. You have to focus on every incremental thing as that sun moves through the sky, because you have to keep your foot on the gas. You have to keep a constant cadence going through. And it's the agents that say, oh, look, I had a closing, or, oh, look, I put something under contract, and they take their foot off the gas. That's why people find this constant roller coaster. But if you can keep a steady pace, you're talking about the reps, what you're doing, and learning the process and executing. And Andrew, I'd also argue that actually the year that you were on a team that you said you learned the process wrong, it probably gave you a lot more momentum once you figured out how to do it right. And you actually learned a lot of lessons through that, and that's what's helped propel you forward now. But I would like to ask a few people to unmute and just say, what is one thing that you are doing that is moving your business forward on a daily basis? If we could do a rapid fire, what is one thing that you are doing every day that is something you will not miss that you have to do to move your business forward?
I'll go on this one.
Please.
So I've been trying to stay in touch with previous clients, and now they're starting to circulate, and we're starting to look at homes again to hopefully keep that going. And I've gotten a few referrals from some of them too.
Oh, so lead follow-up. I'm hearing lead follow-up. Very good. Thank you for sharing, Kyla. Who else do we have?
Hey, somebody reminded me recently about 5 random texts a day. It works.
Okay, so that was maybe 2-3 weeks ago. We talked about doing the 5 random texts, and you said it works. Can you tell me what the it works means? What's the result?
Well, I'll give you one example. There was a house that I sold a few years ago. It recently got relisted, not with yours truly. And I did reach out. I said, hey, saw your listing, looks great. If any of my old files can help you, let me know. That led to a text yesterday where it was, please contact us. We need your guidance, which turned into a listing appointment Friday. And they just terminated their listing because in 90 days they did not get a showing.
Yeah.
And their neighbor, who also listed with the same agent, is coming by an hour after I meet with them.
Right.
And that was just
it's the power of communication. It's the power of connection. It's the power of literally what we are doing here, right? The fundamentals of we've never missed a Wednesday. We are every Wednesday at 8:30, we're here, right? Guys, when Anna and I started this, we had 3 people on. And then we had 10, and then we had 12, and then we were stuck at 15 for like a long time. And now we're at 32. And we are just going to stay consistent with it. And you do the reps and it will build. Your business is no different. But you have to stay consistent. People have to know you're going to show up. They have to know where you're going to be. You have to do the things you say you're going to do. And so I think that's amazing. I love that you did those 5 texts. And if you keep it up, the business is just going to grow and grow and grow. Who else has something?
Well, it's just a great reminder that, you feel like you forget that crap.
Yeah, Michelle Mendler's not on this call. She got off from that summer sprint, followed up with somebody, and Truby, like, it's exactly what you said. Followed up with someone that came through an open house and they already had a real estate agent. But in the interim, from that time they met at the open house till when she sent the text, that relationship had soured or had not been as productive as they anticipated being. Someone didn't deliver on the expectations. She's got $1 million listing coming to market, and she's put them under contract on an $800 and some thousand home because she just did the thing where she sent the 5 texts. She said it so simply. She said, I just did what I was supposed to.
I just did what Allison and Anna said, and it worked.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm just going to say I would agree with all of those things. I think a big thing for me that I've been doing lately is leaning more on my community. Yep. My husband's military, so I've started a Facebook group. I've just really been leaning on that side of the community, and I've gotten clients from it. So it's been working.
Awesome job, Amanda.
Awesome job. Thank you for sharing.
So I'll pop on really quick. I don't do this every single day, but it's something that I haven't missed for a long time. I have like a referral flyer, and every single week I send a minimum of 50 referral flyers out to other agents in all different states. What I do is I just usually use like ChatGPT, and I'll say like, what are my top feeder markets this week? And who are the top, 50 agents in those? And ChatGPT will give me their emails, and I just mass send them out. And then they go in my database. So then they get like, my holiday emails and stuff like that. And I've probably closed 20 transactions just from those referral bases and been able to actually send clients to them. So that's always worked for me, just farming actually other agents.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing. Summertime is a great time to think about creative ways to get lead funnels. I know a lot of agents that are newer in the business don't have a lot of money and they don't want to spend money to do lead generation, and I am all for that. I'm going to share one or two ideas that work really, really well. And I would love if anybody else has any ideas. But what we are executing right now within the team, and I've done this before, is a coloring contest. So we are a week away from Water Festival. I went into ChatGPT and I made little coloring templates with our branded logos and all of our stuff on it. And you're going to the agents throw it out to their database, to social media. They have to submit their phone number, email, and information, right? They're also dropping off pop buys to past clients and people that they know with children, or if they're in a neighborhood, it's $1 for a thing of crowns at the dollar store, right? Very, very simple way to.
Sorry. Can you say that word again?
Everyone yelled at.
Did anyone else hear that word?
So much.
Why are you buying children crowns, Allison? That is weird.
Princesses.
Everyone said something at the office about it.
That is the weirdest thing I've ever heard you say.
Okay, it's a crayon. It's a crayon. Okay. Crayons.
Sorry,
crowns, whatever, guys. You get the crowns and you deliver the crowns to. I don't have kids. I don't say crayons all the time. Anyways, deliver them, and then it's a sales funnel. Okay, thank you, Anna. And then you do $100 gift card for the kids to ice cream or a toy store or whatever that looks like. It's a really great way to get active on social media. It's a great way to touch your database, and it's a great way if you have a neighborhood to farm. And we've also done this. It was years ago since I did this, but this was during COVID and it worked really, really well. If you are in a neighborhood with a lot of children, do a chalk contest, a sidewalk chalk contest. Flyer the neighborhood, and then on a Saturday, all the kids have between like 9 and 12. And then you drive around and have the kids judge the sidewalk chalk contest, and then do a prize or popsicles or something like that, watermelon, whatever. But make sure that you're doing a QR code that leads to a sales funnel so that you can capture the information. So a coloring contest, and I won't use the word, but the thing that you push hard with, then you color with, and then a popsicle, like free watermelon ice cream giveaway, whatever, for a neighborhood sidewalk chalk contest are really good ways to do lead capture and do lead funnels. Anybody else got any creative, very affordable ideas that we won't make fun of you if you mispronounce a word for?
We will.
Everybody gets a crown.
You know what? Whatever.
I know you don't need us.
Whatever. You're laughing.
I also don't care. It's a crown.
I mean, I have 2 girls, so like I'm used to crowns and tiaras, So that's just where my mind was.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it. I was like, what do the crowns have to do with the coloring contest?
Crayon.
Yeah, I was trying to connect it, honestly, until you pointed out that she was talking about crayons.
But like, here's the thing, like crowns or crayons or whatever. Like I saw Miranda's post. So if you're not, go to Miranda's Instagram right now and like look at her cute little chopped bob with her little picture.
Yeah.
And I can show you on my phone, guys. This is where it comes from. This is how it happens. I texted Haley in the middle of, I think, our meeting yesterday, Rachel, which is ironic because you would have enjoyed that I probably could have just said it out loud. But while Rachel and I were meeting yesterday, I texted Haley, who was sitting next to us, and I said, kids coloring page contest.
So easy. So easy.
I like, we'll have it executed this morning. Like we'll have a little SOP and you guys can do it. And then I just heard Allison say it'd be great for the farms. I'm like, oh, Michelle Mindler's farming Crooked Creek. Like we could get something of Crooked Creek, like the new ballpark that's slated to come in, and have a coloring contest of that specific item. Like,
and it's so
our girls at
easy.
down at the Crystal Coast, we could, you know, get something that's more your actual area and community. Like nowadays, like it's so simple to get those things out. So it's just hearing someone say that and then just going and actually taking 5 more seconds to execute it. That's all.
I will say too, the chalk one, if you are in a neighborhood, that is a very easy one to execute. And then if anybody has another idea, throw it out. But the food drives are amazing for open houses. You go to Food Lion or whatever neighborhood grocery store you have, and they'll give you paper bags. You print out a flyer, okay? And on the flyer, it says who you're serving, who the food bank you're serving is, what they're looking for. Maybe it's a pet drive, whatever you want. And then you just ask for them to drop their canned goods on the porch, and
Oh my God.
by and pick
The
them up.
barndominiums are 1.8.
Oh, goodness. Barndominiums. So you'll pick it up by a certain date and time. And then make sure when you pick up the food, you have something to drop off and give them a value, right? And if it is a very kid-friendly neighborhood, guys, do like a crossword puzzle or another coloring page on the back or just something of value, but a QR code to redirect to sales funnel. You do not need to spend $5,000 a month on lead services on realtor.com and Zillow and all of these things. You don't. You need to put your feet on the pavement. You need to go and meet people, smile. People will know, like, and trust you, and give back to the community. That is the way that you create big businesses with very little overhead. Anybody else have any creative ideas for summer to get leads through servicing the community?
We've done the food drive thing. I think Anna mentioned it about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought a whole bunch of brown paper bags.
Yeah.
And we have a stamp with our logo. Put it on
cool.
the bags.
Yeah.
We did kind of the same thing. But I was just going to say, you can do all the great things, stay top of mind, do all that wonderful stuff. But honest truth is 3/4 of the people you deal with are going to use whoever was the last person in front of them. So the only thing you got to do is just be the last person in front of them. And you can't do that at home, and you can't do it from your office.
And that goes back to what Kyla said, right? You got to follow up. If you do all these fun, fancy things, and then you put them in your CRM and you never touch them, what are you going to get from that? You're going to see them list with somebody else because you never followed up with them. Well, guys, it is 9 a.m. It is summertime. I know we are all busy. Does anybody have anything else that they are just burning to share with this group?
Yeah, I do. I have one more block that I think is really important, and I want you to be able to touch on it too. You are never too early in the business to treat it like a business and know your numbers. That's one of the big blocks that I pulled out for this conversation. If you can at any time, and we're not talking because some of you are like, oh, I don't have any closings, or I only have one closing, I only have this. I'm not even talking about those numbers. I'm talking about how much does it cost for you to live? How much does it cost for you to cover the bills that come with being in this industry? What are the hours that you're working? What's your hourly rate? What's your conversion rate from conversation, meaning 2-minute conversation, to appointment? What's your conversion from dials or outbounds into 2-minute conversations? I'm not even talking the financials. The scary part is there's experienced agents on this call that don't have a freaking clue what their financial numbers are. That's a whole nother conversation. But if you train yourself early to be obsessed with the numbers and the data around your business, and there's never been an easier time to keep up with that stuff than now with AI that can sit there and track so much for you. I think that's a really big one that new agents miss, is they'll take what's there and in front of them, and they don't really understand that there's a whole business mechanics behind it that is very numbers driven. Most of us did not get into real estate because that was sexy to us or exciting to us, but it is what keeps you playing longer. And if you do not continue to play, the work you're doing today, no matter how great you are at it, is going to be for naught, because you have to stay in the game to continue playing. And I really am a fundamental believer that you have to know your numbers to stay in the game.
Yeah, I think that's very important. And I think it's why a lot of people get out of the game, because they they don't have a roadmap, and you've got to, day one in this business, you have to start treating it like a business. I will leave you guys with this because we're talking about agents that are starting to get busy, that are new in the business. Not that anyone needs my financial advice, and I'm not a financial guru by any stretch of the imagination, but I will give you this one piece of advice: is when you start making money, I want you to act like you're not. I want you to wait 18 to 24 months before you start spending it. You get your first commission check, it feels good. You didn't make it, put it in the bank. The compounding interest, the compounding of being able to keep holding that money is what's going to get you so much farther. And so I always said that Tony and I acted like we were still making $30,000 a year, well into making $500,000-$600,000 annually. And it wasn't until about year 7 that we like said, oh, wait, hold on, we're making money. We can do some things. And it's where we then were able to turn around and start reinvesting. And most of the wealth that I have sat in these rooms with these extremely high earners, and most of their wealth was made from actually doing the investing in real estate, not just the buying and selling. There's a lot of agents out there that are making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year, and they don't really have anything to show for it because they're just spending it. They've let their lifestyle catch up with their income, and the longer that you can hold back, the better you're going to set yourself up for financial freedom in the future. And that really is what this is about. We have a really beautiful opportunity in this free country that we live in to make a lot of money and to buy ourselves a lot of freedom. So I hope that we all leave here knowing that there's a lot of ways to run a very profitable business that does not cost you a lot of money, and you can make a lot of money, and you can live a very, very free life if there's a little bit of Anna, help me with the word here, discipline around the life that you're living. So we appreciate everyone for being here. We will be on next week. Is it Truby? Are you talking next week?
Yep.
Yes, Truby's talking next week.
Whoa, a whole 30 minutes of Truby.
So we will get you guys that information. We are so excited. And then it's the middle of summer, guys. So stay cool, and hopefully your pipeline hot. See ya.
Y'all have fun today.
Happy Wednesday.